Hi there, in this quick video I'm going to show you how to, or a good way to handle bilingual docs in multiple languages. So let me first show you what it looks like on the front end, and then I'll show you how to do it on the back end. It's actually really easy. What we're going to basically do is create two different separate docs and then cross-link them, and then you can kind of organize them to as you see fit. So what I've done here is I've got the same doc in two different languages, and SwiftCloud natively doesn't support multiple languages in the sense of like certain plugins, but we do in just via different docs. Like each doc can have a language setting, and that's required because of a couple things. Number one is the email that the client's going to get, right? Your participant, your signer, whatever that is, and you've also got some controls down here in terms of the language, right? So in this case, we have this set to Spanish. This client, I think Spanish is their default language. So in your profile on the localization settings, get down there and language and location, and here you have some language settings, right? So in this case it's set to Spanish. Puerto Rico is the default. I'm not sure we have that translated. We probably have only translated the parent, but I think that we have a fallback system working. So if you set to Puerto Rico, it may fall back to Spanish Mexico if you care about, you know, tiny details about that. And if you have a specific recommendation or something that you want changed, then of course we could start to separate that out. So anyway, all you do on the back end to get these cross-linked is go to your doc. So here I am in the main Drive page. So on the very top left you see these three dinner plates. Click on Drive. That'll bring you to your main Drive page, and you've got a bunch of different folders. In this case, just to keep things organized, you can create here, go to folder, create any new folder. A workroom is just a shared folder. An unshared workroom is just a folder. So here I have all the eSign docs in a single folder. Well, somewhere I did. Oh, right here. And then later, after I'm done, I will separate these into English and Espanol, and that way it just kind of keeps things organized. So you could do it however you want it, right? You could make whatever file structure you want. And this isn't even visible on the front end per se. It really is just to help you find your docs faster. Obviously, once you're done, then what you want to do is, if in this case for this client in person, they'd probably want to bookmark this from a tablet, or more likely we'll make a separate page that has every possible and make that the home page for the tablet, and then keep that in the facility, and then that way they can quickly just, you know, with one tap get to the specific waiver that they need. If you care, you could also set this up where you actually have one waiver, and then you just check the box for whatever activities you're going to participate in, and then it would modify the document to show or hide using the show hide function. That is another way that we've seen similar, you know, clients with a variety of offerings could do the same thing, and that way they just have technically one doc. And technically you could even do that with language. You could nest all of these if you wanted to and ask them, but this is probably a little easier for them to deal with. So it's a perfectly good way, and which way is right for you is just personal preference, but this is a perfectly good way to do it. So all you have to do is type English and Espanol, and then what you do is you just go here and then you link it from the front end. So in this case, what I'll do is I'll go down to the far bottom, preview, or in the very top. This also works. These both link to the same thing. It also just shows you the URL right here using your doc. This is the exact same URL as this preview button. Anyway, what we can do is just take that and Control-C, copy, and then go up here, and then this is the Spanish version, right? So we would go to the English version, and we would link that to right here. So we'd link this and just click this little chain icon, and that's where we would paste the link to the Spanish version, right? And so we just, you know, once you do both of those, then you can you know, just cross-link back and forth, right, on the front end. So that way if a client gets here and they accidentally clicked, you know, they're looking at Spanish and they prefer it in Spanish, or they prefer it in English, they can easily jump around back and forth to whatever they prefer. But these are technically two different docs. One more quick addendum. An advantage to the separate English and Spanish is that the autoresponder that goes out to the clients can then be in the corresponding language, right? So in this case, this doc is obviously in Spanish, so this message here should get written in Spanish, and you know, this cannot change. Don't translate any of these reserved codes. Anything that says Swift reserved, don't translate those because that won't work. But what this will do is just attach the PDF that they've signed. Same thing for this. Keep that in English, even if you're, meaning don't translate these short codes. But everything else, this could be just written in Spanish, and in this case, the client will have to do that. My Spanish isn't good enough to deal with that, but this will be specific to only this document, whereas if we did a show hide hierarchy, it's not going to know what exactly they've signed. In this, it doesn't reflect the same sort of logic. It's really just, hey, you've signed this doc and here's a copy. So this way you can address, enjoy this. And another advantage to this is in the future, I am expecting we'll roll this out into our scheduling system. And then that way the scheduling for the service that they schedule can include the correct waiver associated with that activity, right? So in this case, if they sign up for whatever this Cryo Slimming 360, this service, then they book that through the scheduler and they sign this right within that single experience, right? And that way they can sign and pay and schedule all within one nice web-based experience. Hope that helps. Thanks.